everyone. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Are you watching with me? Good morning. Good morning. Are you watching with me?
International Association of Firefighters, Local 3920. Fire Captain Andrea M. Hall for the reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance.
Getting married today.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we will kneel. We will also kneel. She's sign language. That was beautiful. Getting married today. I have to eat first.
What you are all about to be part of America is a historic moment of firsts. To administer the oath to our first African American, our first Asian American, and our first woman vice president,
yes,
Kamala Harris, it is my great privilege to welcome to the inaugural stage the first Latina to ever serve on the Supreme Court of the United States of America.
Sotomayor. Woo! Yes, I know my politics, baby. I know my politics. I love her. She's a diabetic. I think she has childhood diabetes, and she has always survived. She has always cared for her health. And that's really an important example for all of us.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me.
This is Kamala.
Kamala David Harris, do solemnly swear.
Kamala David Harris, do solemnly swear.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Yes.
Foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
That I will well and faithfully discharge.
That I will well and faithfully discharge.
The duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
Yes.
Of the office upon which I am about to enter.
So help me.
So help me, God. Oh my God. What an historic moment. Wow. This is beautiful, guys. It's so beautiful. Oh my God. I just love her. Oh, I love that she showed up for us. I love that she accepted the position. Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Yes. I'm going to edit this and bring her speech in and then repost it. Go, Jennifer. Go, Jennifer. I love Jennifer. She a Leo. She a New Yorker. She wearing all white. Go, girl. You go, girl. That's right. Talk about royalty. Talk about royalty. Jennifer got royalty blood. Yes, she do. Talk about class. I got a whole gown on, people.
This land is mine. From California to the New York Island.
Oh, y'all thought I was kidding? I said I was getting married. Play with me. My screen froze, so we'll just wait. I said I was getting married, people. I'm getting married to healing. I'm getting married to commitment of love of myself, love of others, democracy, and to America. You know what I'm doing? Why is it messing up? Pure, pure, pure voice. Talking Spanish. Go, girl. Spanglish. Like Yemi. That was beautiful, guys. That was beautiful. Thank you, Chalonda.
The sun is shining, and Mr. President-elect, this is the first inauguration in the history of America where J-Lo was the warm-up act for Chief Justice Roberts. With that,
That's
is
right.
now my distinct honor to introduce the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States, John Roberts, to administer the presidential oath to the next President of the United States, Joseph R. Biden.
I blocked Troy. Nobody ruins this for me.
Please stand for the oath of office, followed by musical honors.
Get married here.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me.
Repeat after me.
I, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., do solemnly swear.
I, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., do solemnly swear
That I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of President of the United States
the office of President of the United States
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
We've got a president! Woo! Woo! We got a president! We got ourselves a president! We got ourselves a president! Woo! Woo! You know how we African Americans do it? Yes! Yes! We got ourselves a president! We got ourselves a president! this. We won. Oh my God. You voted. Oh my God. Oh my God. We did this. Take some responsibility. We did this. Oh my God. We worked so hard at this, guys. Stacey Abrams worked so hard at this day. You worked hard. I worked hard. America worked hard. America chose Biden. And it's the greatest moment. The last time I cried like this, Obama was president. You did this. You always remember that. You did this. You did this. Remember that. You enacted change. You chose healing. You chose love of country.
My fellow Americans.
And you chose not to be bullied.
We have all been waiting for.
Yes.
It is now my great privilege.
We have a president.
And high honor to be the first person to officially introduce the 46th President of the United States, Joseph R. Biden Jr.
Oh, it's finally happened.
Chief Justice Roberts, Vice President Harris,
Yes. Vice President Harris.
Speaker Pelosi, Leader Schumer, Leader O'Connell,
Pelosi's a
Vice
beast.
President Pence.
Pelosi is the woman.
Guests, my fellow Americans.
We would not have done this without Pelosi.
This is America's day.
Yes.
This is democracy's day.
Mm-hmm.
A day of history and hope.
Yes.
Renewal and resolve. Through a crucible for the ages, America has been tested anew, and America has risen to the challenge. Today, we celebrate the triumph not of a candidate, but of a cause. The cause of democracy.
Cause of healing.
The people,
Democracy.
the will of the people
Yes.
has been heard.
Yes.
And the will of the people has been heeded. We've learned again that democracy is precious. Democracy is fragile. And at this hour, my friends, democracy has prevailed.
Yes. Democracy won.
On this hallowed ground where just a few days ago, violence sought to shake the Capitol's very foundation. We come together as one nation.
Yes.
Under God.
Under God.
Indivisible.
Indivisible.
To carry out the peaceful transfer of power.
Yes, we did.
As we have for more than 2 centuries.
That we did.
As we look ahead in our uniquely American way, restless, bold, optimistic, and set our sights on a nation we know we can be and we must be.
That's right.
I
We
thank
are.
my predecessors of both parties for their presence here today. I thank them from the bottom of my heart. And I know the resilience of our Constitution.
Yes.
And the strength of our nation, as does President Carter, who I spoke with last night, who cannot be with us today, but whom we salute for his lifetime of service.
Porridge. I'm eating porridge.
Just
help
taken
me.
the sacred oath, each of those patriots
Fills you up in the
have
mornings.
taken. The oath first sworn by George Washington. But the American story depends not on any one of us, not on some of us, but on all of us. on we the people
Yes.
who seek a more perfect union.
Yes.
This is a great nation.
It is.
We're good people.
Yeah.
And over the centuries, through storm and strife, in peace and in war,
Yeah.
we've come so far.
Yeah.
We still have far to go.
Yeah. We do.
We'll press forward with speed and urgency, for we have much to do in this winter of peril and significant possibilities. Much to repair, much to restore, much to heal, much to build, and much to gain. Few people in our nation's history have been more challenged or found a time more challenging or difficult than the time we're in now.
Yeah.
Once in a century virus that silently stalks the country.
The
It's
virus.
taken as many lives in 1 year as America lost in all of World War II.
Doesn't make sense.
Millions of jobs have been lost.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of businesses closed.
Mm-hmm.
A cry for racial justice, some 400 years in the making, moves us.
Yes.
The dream of justice for all will be deferred no longer.
Thank you. Racial injustice no longer.
Survival comes from the planet itself. A cry that can't be any more desperate or any more clear. Now, a rise of political extremism, white supremacy, domestic terrorism,
No.
that we must confront and we will defeat.
Yes. Yes, we will. No more white supremacy. Thank
To
you.
restore the soul and secure the future of America requires so much more than words. It requires the most elusive of all things in a democracy. Unity.
Yeah.
Unity.
Yeah.
In another January, on New Year's Day in 1863, Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. When he put pen to paper, the president said, and I quote, "If my name ever goes down into history, it'll be for this act,
Wow.
and my whole soul is in it."
Wow.
My whole soul is in it.
Oh,
Today,
thank
on
you.
this January day, my whole soul is in this.
Thank you. Thank
Bringing
you for your
America
commitment.
together,
Yes.
uniting our people,
Yes.
uniting our nation.
Yes.
And I ask every American to join me
I'm
in
in.
this cause.
I'm in. I'm married. I'm married to the cause. I'm married to democracy. I'm married to healing. I'm married to America.
Foes we face.
I'm in.
Anger, resentment and hatred, extremism, lawlessness,
We don't have time for that no more.
disease, joblessness, and hopelessness. With unity, we can do great things, important things.
Yeah, we could.
We can right wrongs.
I
We
believe.
can put people to work in good jobs. We can teach
Yes.
our children in safe schools. We can overcome the deadly virus.
Safe schools for our children.
Reward work and rebuild the middle class and make healthcare secure for all. We can deliver racial justice and we can make America once again the leading force for good in the world. I know
Yes.
speaking of unity can sound to some like a foolish fantasy these days. I know the forces that divide us are deep and they are real. But I also know they are not new. Our history has been a constant struggle between the American ideal that we're all created equal and the harsh, ugly reality that racism, nativism, fear, demonization have long torn us apart.
Yes, it
The
has.
battle is perennial, and victory is never assured. Through Civil War, the Great Depression, World War, 9/11, through struggle, sacrifice, and setbacks, our better angels have always prevailed. In each of these moments, enough of us have come together to carry all of us forward. And we can do that now. History, faith, and reason show the way of unity. We can see each other not as adversaries, but as neighbors.
Yeah,
We can treat each other with dignity and respect.
I'd like to.
We can join forces,
Yeah.
stop the shouting and lower the temperature.
Yes, I like to.
Without
Me,
unity,
I like to.
There is no peace, only bitterness and fury.
Yeah.
No progress.
Yeah.
Only exhausting outrage.
No.
No nation.
I'm tired.
Only a state of chaos.
No. I'm tired.
This is our historic moment of crisis and challenge.
Yeah.
And unity is the path forward. And we must meet this moment as
Together.
the United States of
Together.
America. If we do
Commit
that,
with me.
I guarantee you we will not fail. We have never, ever failed
true.
in America. We've acted together. And so today, at this time, in this place, let's start afresh. All of us. Let's begin to listen to one another again. Hear one another.
Yes,
See
here.
one another.
See.
Show respect to one another.
Respect.
Politics doesn't have to be a raging fire, destroying everything in its path.
No, it doesn't. We're going to do this. We're all going to do this.
Every disagreement doesn't have to be a cause for total
Work
war.
together. Right.
And we must reject the culture in which facts themselves are manipulated and even manufactured.
Oh! Thank you, Biden. Speak the truth.
Fellow Americans, we have to
It's the
do
Baptist
this.
side of me.
America has to be better than this. And I believe America is so much better than this. Just look around. Here we stand in the shadow of the Capitol Dome, as was mentioned earlier, completed amid the Civil War, when the Union itself was literally hanging in the balance.
Yeah.
Yet we endured. We
Yes.
prevailed.
Yes.
Here we stand, looking out on the Great Mall,
Yeah.
where Dr. King spoke of his dream.
That's right.
Here we stand, where 108 years ago, at another inaugural, thousands of protesters tried to block brave women marching for the right to vote. Today, we mark the swearing in of the first woman in American history elected to national office, Vice President Kamala Harris.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Speak.
Here we stand,
Speak.
across the Potomac from Arlington Cemetery, where heroes who gave the last full measure of devotion
My dad.
to rest in eternal
Korea
peace.
War.
And here we stand, just days after a riotous mob thought they could use violence to silence the will of the people,
No.
to stop the work of our democracy,
No.
to drive us from this sacred ground.
No.
It did not happen. It will never happen. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Not ever.
Not ever.
To all those who supported our campaign, I'm humbled by the faith you placed in us. To all those who did not support us, let me say this. Hear me out as we move forward. Take a measure of me and my heart. If you still disagree, so be it. That's democracy. That's America. The right to dissent peaceably within the guardrails of our republic is perhaps this nation's greatest strength. Yet hear me clearly. Disagreement must not lead to disunion. And I pledge this to you. I will be a president for all Americans. All Americans. And I promise you, I will fight as hard for those who did not support me as for those who did.
Yes.
Many centuries ago, St. Augustine, a saint of my church, wrote that a people was a multitude defined by the common objects of their love. Defined by the common objects of their love. What are the common objects we as Americans love that define us as Americans? I think we know. Opportunity, security, liberty, dignity, respect, honor,
Dignity.
and yes, the truth.
The truth.
Recent weeks
Care
and
for
months
minorities.
taught us a painful lesson. There is truth and there are lies. Lies told for power and for profit. And each of us has a duty and a responsibility as citizens, as Americans, and especially as leaders, leaders who have pledged to honor our Constitution and protect our nation, to defend the truth and defeat the lies.
Yes.
Look, I understand that many of my fellow Americans view the future with fear and trepidation.
No.
I understand they worry about their jobs.
Yes.
I understand, like my dad, they lay in bed staring at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering, can I keep my health care? Can I pay my mortgage?
Yeah.
Thinking about their families.
Yeah.
About what comes next.
Yeah.
I promise you I get it.
Yeah.
But the answer is not to turn inward, to retreat into competing factions, distrusting those who don't look like you,
Yeah.
or worship the way you do,
Yeah.
or don't get
Worship the way I want.
their news from the same sources you do.
Right.
We must end this uncivil
Fox
war
needs to go away.
that pits red against
Fox
blue,
needs to go
rural versus
away.
rural versus urban, conservative versus liberal. We can do this
We can.
if we open our souls instead of hardening our hearts. If we show a little tolerance and humility,
Yes.
and if we're willing to stand in the other person's shoes, as my mom would say, just for a moment,
Yes.
stand in their shoes. Because here's the thing about life. There's no accounting for what fate will deal you. Some days, when you need a hand,
Mm-hmm.
there are other days when we're called to lend a hand.
You're the hand.
That's how it has to be. This is what we do for one another.
That's right.
And if we are this way, our country will be stronger,
Yeah.
more prosperous,
Yeah.
more ready.
I
for the
support a
future.
whole
And
immigrant
we still
family.
disagree.
I promise you, I support
My
them.
fellow Americans,
You have no
the work
idea.
ahead of us, we're going to need each other. We need all our strength to persevere through this dark winter.
Yeah.
We're entering what may be the toughest and deadliest period of the virus. We must set aside politics and finally face this pandemic as one nation. One nation. And I promise you this, as the Bible says, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the
Joy
morning.
comes in the
We
morning.
will get through this together. Together.
We have to. We have to.
All my
We have
colleagues
to.
I serve with in the House and the Senate up there, we all understand the world is watching all of us today. So here's my message to those beyond our borders. America has been tested, and we've come out stronger for it.
Yeah.
We will repair our alliances and
Yes.
engage with the world once again.
Yes.
Not to meet yesterday's challenges, but today's and tomorrow's challenges.
Okay. I got you.
And will lead not merely by the example of our power, but by the power of our example.
Get involved in politics. Get involved in your local community, everyone.
We'll be a strong and trusted partner for peace, progress, and security.
Yes.
Look, you all know we've been through so much in this nation. And my first act as president, I'd like to ask you to join me in a moment of silent prayer. Remember all of those who we lost in this past year to the pandemic.
Yeah.
Those 400,000 fellow Americans, moms, dads, husbands, wives, sons, daughters, friends, neighbors, and co-workers. We'll honor them in becoming the people and the nation we know we can and should be.
Caring about those that passed away. We never mourned for them. We never mourned for a single person that died until yesterday. It's terrible. It's terrible. We should have been mourned for one person that died, let alone
And we
400,000.
resolve these cascading crises of our era.
I know people whose mothers
We
died.
will rise to the occasion.
Young
is the
girls.
question. Will we master this rare and difficult hour? Will we meet our obligation to pass along a new and better world to our children?
We have to.
I believe we must. I'm sure you do as well.
Yes.
I believe we will.
We
And
have
when we
to.
do, we'll write the next great chapter in the history of the United States of America, the American story. A
We'll
story
get involved.
that might sound something like a song that means a lot to me.
What?
It's called American Anthem. There's one verse that stands out, at least for me.
What
It
is it?
goes like this. The work and prayers of century have brought us to this day. What shall be our legacy? What will our children say? Let me know in my heart when my days are through. America, America, I gave my best to you.
Yeah.
Let's us add our own work and prayers
Yeah.
to the unfolding story of our great nation.
Yeah.
If we do this, then when our days are through, our children and our children's children will say of us, they gave their best, they did their duty,
Yeah.
they healed the broken land.
Yes.
My fellow Americans, I close the day where I began, with a sacred oath. Before God and all of you,
Yeah.
I give you my word.
Yeah.
I will always level with you. I will defend the Constitution.
I believe you.
I'll defend our democracy.
I believe you.
I'll defend America.
I believe you.
And will give all of you, keep everything you do in your service.
Yeah.
Thinking not of power, but of possibilities. Not of personal interest, but the public good. And together, we shall write an American story of hope, not fear. Of unity, not division. Of light, not darkness. A story of decency and dignity.
Yeah.
Love and healing.
Yeah.
Greatness and goodness. May this be the story that guides us.
Yeah.
The story that inspires us. And the
Yes.
story that tells ages yet to come that we answered the call of history. We met the moment.
Yeah.
Democracy and hope, truth and justice did not die in our watch but thrived. That America secured liberty at home and stood once again as a beacon to the world. That is what we owe our forebears, one another and generation to follow.
Yes.
So, with purpose and resolve, we turn to those tasks of our time, sustained by faith, driven by conviction, and devoted to one another and the country we love with all our hearts. May God bless America.
Yes.
And may God protect our troops.
Yes.
Thank you, America.
God bless America. Be dramatic, people. Be dramatic. Be dramatic for good, for the good cause, for our troops. Look at them. They're hella sexy, by the way. The troops are hella sexy.
President of the United States, the oldest man ever to assume the presidency at 78 years old, delivering a speech on themes of unity, of hope, of rewriting an American history, a new chapter in American history, saying it is time for Americans to come together in common cause.
He says we must end this uncivil war. He noted that democracy has prevailed, noting the attack on the Capitol 2 weeks ago. He says there's been an attack on democracy and the truth.
Oh, we got country.
Folks now will perform.
Do y'all like country? Is that Garth Brooks? Do y'all like country? If y'all ain't into country, get into country. I love me some country. I like pop country. And Garth Brooks would be one of them. And he's so cute. His chunky self. Get into country, people. We know that song. The sound that saved a wretch like me. Yes, I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Been there 10,000 You're bad. Bright and shining as the sun. We know less days to see God's grace. Than when we first believed. I'd like to ask you to sing this last verse with me. Not just the people here, but the people at home. Work as one, united. Yes. Amazing, sing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. I was gonna say I'm free. She said, sing it at home, people. The people at home, sing it. He was talking to other people. Sing it. Free yourselves. We will work together, people. White, black, immigrants. We will work together. We will work together. We will. We will.
It's a new era and a new day in Washington as the Constitution decreed at 12 noon the term of the prior president ends and the prior vice president, and there's a new president and vice president, President Biden and Vice President.
12:01. Over.
That same song at the Mother Emanuel Church.
Biden is officially the president.
It's as close to both poetry and prayer as you could possibly come. And we're going to finish with those two things. Let me introduce Amanda Gorman, our nation's first ever National Poet Laureate.
Mr. President, Dr. Biden, Madam Vice President, Mr. Emhoff, Americans, and the world.
Yeah.
When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry a sea
so
we must
cute.
wade. We've
Oh my
braved the
God, she's
belly of the
adorable.
beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace, and the norms and notions of what just is isn't always just is. And yet the dawn is hours before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, It's simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country and a time where a skinny black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother can dream of becoming president, only to find herself reciting from one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge our union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. And so we lift our gazes not to what stands between us, but what stands before us.
Yes.
We close the divide because we know to put our future first. We must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true. That even as we grieved, we grew, that even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried, that we'll forever be tied together, victorious, not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. Scripture tells us to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one shall make them afraid. If we're to live up to our own time, then victory won't lie in the blade, but in all the bridges we've made. That is the promised glade, the hill we climb, if only we dare it, because being American is more than a pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it, would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy. And this effort very nearly succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith we trust, for while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption. We feared it in its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So, while once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be, a country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation, because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation. Our blunders become their burdens, but one thing is certain: if we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than one we were left. With every breath from my bronze pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the gold-limbed hills of the west. We will rise from the windswept northeast, where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked south. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover in every known nook of our nation, in every corner called our country. Our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it. For there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it.
Woo! Woo! Yes, girl. Yes. Yes, young lady. Yes.
She was 22 years old from Los Angeles.
Younger.
Just powerful
guys like that? Oh, did you guys get to see that?
Piece of poetry she just did.
Well, you'd hate to follow her.
Yeah.
And she did, we had prose and now we've had poetry and we've had song.
For our benediction, I'm pleased to introduce Reverend Dr. Sylvester Beeman, the pastor of the Bethel African Methodist Episcopal Church in Wilmington, Delaware, a friend of President Biden for 30 years.
As a nation and people of faith gathered in this historical moment, let us unite in prayer. God, we gather under the beauty of your holiness and the holiness of your beauty. We seek your face, your smile, your warm embrace. We petition you once more in this celebration. We pray for divine favor upon our President, Joseph R. Biden, and our First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden, and their family. We further ask that you would extend the same favor upon our Vice President, Kamala D. Harris, and our second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, and their family. More than ever, they and our nation need you. We need you, for in you we discover our common humanity. And our common humanity, we will seek out the wounded and bind their wounds.
Yes.
We will seek healing for those who are sick and diseased. We will mourn our dead. We will befriend the lonely, the least, and the left out. We will share our abundance with those who are hungry. We will do justly to the oppressed, acknowledge sin, and seek forgiveness, thus grasping reconciliation. In discovering our humanity, we will seek the good in and for all our neighbors. We will love the unlovable, remove the stigma of the so-called untouchables. We will care for our most vulnerable, our children, the elderly, emotionally challenged, and the poor. We will seek rehabilitation beyond correction. We will extend opportunity to those locked out of opportunity. We will make friends of our enemies. We will make friends of our enemies. People, your people, shall no longer raise up weapons against one another.
That's right.
We will rather use our resources for the national good and become a beacon of life and goodwill to the world. And neither shall we learn hatred anymore. We will lie down in peace and not make our neighbors afraid. In you, O God, we discover our humanity. In our humanity, we discover our commonness. Beyond the difference of color, creed, origin, political party, ideology, geography, and personal preferences, we'll become greater stewards of your environment, preserving the land, reaping from it a sustainable harvest, and securing its wonder and miracle-giving power. For generations to come. This is our benediction, that from these hallowed grounds, where slaves labored to build this shrine and citadel to liberty and democracy, let us all acknowledge, from the indigenous Native American to those who recently received their citizenship, from the African American to those whose foreparents came from Europe and every corner of the globe, from the wealthy to those struggling to make it, from every human being, regardless of their choices, that this is our country. As such, teach us, oh God. As such, teach us, oh God, to live in it, love in it, be healed in it, and reconcile to one another in it, lest we miss kingdom's goal. To your glory, majesty, dominion, and power forever. Hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah. In the strong name of our collective faith.
And I think Lester will be known for 3 words. Democracy has prevailed. The new president is talking about the last 4 years as a period where there were attacks on democracy, attacks on truth, attacks on humanity, looking at sort of a 4-year aberration from the general course of American history. I thought that speech was modest, austere, brave, cleansing, calming, and inspirational. And that's what you'd want to do. In contrast to Donald Trump 4 years ago, he was talking about American carnage with groups standing against group. Joe Biden was talking today about a country that needs to be united and also needs to mourn more than 400,000 Americans who died of a terrible virus, more than died in the military in World War II.
And Michael, there's no question that the president is looking to turn the page, saying we must end this uncivil war. And on the steps of the Capitol and with allusions to Abraham Lincoln, that is not a throwaway line, especially when you think about what happened 2 weeks ago when there was an insurrection attempted at the United States Capitol to subvert democracy itself. As you mentioned, he said this is America's day, this is democracy's day, and democracy has prevailed. He clearly feels that above all, unity is the business and the mission of this presidency.
You were so right, Savannah. And he's saying something, you know, in all these inaugurations, every new president lauds democracy and the peaceful transfer of power so much that we take it for granted. President Biden, 2 weeks after the attack on the Capitol and the Congress of January 6th, is speaking to us at a moment in which we have just had a very close call. Under the 2 scenarios, we might have lost our democracy. What might we be talking today?
Yes.
About today, and at the same time, he recognizes that he has to deal with more crises at once than almost any president in American history. The pandemic, the economic crisis, people are starving and out of jobs, a crisis of racial justice that's gone on for 400 years with systemic racism, a crisis of climate change and others. These are not things that he can just afford to say, maybe I'll do that after the midterm election, or maybe I'll do it if I'm reelected to a second term. He knows he has to do all these things right now.
We did good.
New president and new first lady making their way now from the platform. We'll see them again a bit later at the
We did good. We did good, my people. We did good.
National Cemetery. Let me bring in Mike Barnacle into our.
I want to show you guys something.
And NBC News contributor, also a longtime family friend of the Bidens. Michael, he spoke of unity as we thought. He acknowledged that some may see it.
I want to show you guys something. The first thing I want to say is take your media to task. Take your news media to task. No longer are we going to allow them to help corrupt America. Remember that. Take them to task. That means contact the president of every news media and you let them know this is unacceptable posting. Remember that. The media helped build the former administration and they did not take the responsibility that they could have. That's the first thing I want to tell you. The second thing I want to tell you is please get involved in local politics. Please get your children involved. Please get your children to understand that it's very important to care about local politics. Bring them to meetings. Make them watch things on TV. You guys know I've done it with Ezra. And the minute Ezra realized that the former administration did not pay any taxes, the first thing Ezra said was, from the mouths of babes, he needs to be fired. I have that on video. The second thing I want to show you guys is that I have been honored, completely honored to be sent an actual invitation for all the work that I've done. So this is a temporary frame because it turns out this frame is a 8 by 10 and my frame is a 5 by 7. But this is an actual invitation because someone somewhere acknowledged what I was doing with my videos. And I just want to tell everyone, all of this could be you too. Not that I needed the acknowledgement. I did it because I couldn't stand another 4 years of what we had. I was so angry. And I, like the astrologer at Geo Valentine said, we are living as Americans, as humans, we are living his existence. And I felt his existence for 4 years and I was angry for 4 years and I can't do this anymore. But I didn't need the acknowledgement, but I honor that someone saw how I cared enough to speak over and over and over again for voting for Biden, against the former administration. And listen, even a psychic can get recognized for good works. So if I can get recognized, I want you to understand, do your part. And the only way you could do your part is that if you're in a supermarket, you can smile. You could say good morning. You could speak to someone outside of your race just because. We can do better. And we can take back be best and mean it. And the final thing I want you all to do, if you can, if you want to join me, is to light candles. Light your blue candles for healing. Light your white candles for healing. I saved this nice big fat one for today. Oh, I thought I felt fire. And I'm not adding anything to it. You know what I'm going to add to it? My intentions, me, my love, who I stand for. No oils, no herbs. All right? I'm just going to light it just because. And I'm just going to light it to increase the amount of healing that America needs. Now, this will turn into blue. It starts out like the sea. Looks more like the Caribbean Sea, and at the bottom. So it's going to melt into the blue, much like the salad bowl that we are, but we can all come together to create a color that's meaningful. And I think the color blue is a meaningful color. So, in honor of healing, in honor of justice, in honor of Biden and Kamala, I honor your existence in my life. And I thank you for showing up. I thank you, Biden, for choosing to go after the presidency, even though you wanted your son to be there. And I honor you, Kamala. You come from California, which is where I reside. You took on an education of law. So you guys have a really good vice president. And I'm telling you, she is going to take a strong position. And I think she's going to take a strong position in economics. Thank you, guys. Thank you for putting up with my silliness. Thank you for allowing me to show you that it's okay to be a little goofy, that it's okay to be married to democracy, to change, to healing. It's okay to have fun. Anger serves no one. Oh, I can't wait for Saturday Night Live. Oh, it's going to have to be a 2-hour special by the time they come back on. They better work it. It's going to have to be 4 hours or more Saturday Night Live because there's a lot to cover. Welcome, President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. Welcome. Welcome to America. Mm-hmm. 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 I love you guys. I will be back officially tomorrow. I gave myself a break until we had a real president. Welcome to America, guys. Bye. The new America.